Well, hello everybody. How you doing? How are you? That was a rough game, man. That was a rough game. That was honestly very depressing game. I don't know what you guys think, but for me, I definitely do feel, unfortunately, that was the worst game of the season. And I'm not particularly surprised by it either. That's kind of the scary part about it, is that it's not really like a shocker. You know what I mean? This has been coming. This has been coming. And look, I don't want to sit here and talk about the whole time talking about Michael Carrick and this and that, because the reality of this team, there's other issues that are bigger than the coach. We'll talk about Carrick a bit, because I certainly have my doubts on things. But look, this has been coming since Arsenal. The performances have been declining. And I said, before West Ham, I said, look, I'm worried. There's a point where this can flip. You know what I mean? There's a point where this can flip, and you go, and you stop getting the luck. You stop getting those performances. You stop getting you stop getting bailed out by the fact that you have some good forwards who can score a goal. You stop getting bailed out by Šeško. Šeško's won us 4 games. You know what I mean? And a draw. 3 games and a draw. 10 points with late goals. Like, this has been coming. This has been coming. And it's the deficiencies in this team are there, plain to see. And it absolutely starts with the midfield. I said in the pre-match and the lead up to this game that Newcastle were going to run through us. They were going to dominate us. They were going to beat us, but maybe the quality of our forwards could carry us through. And that's exactly what happened. They killed our midfield. It's a joke. Our midfield is so bad. It's so bad. I'm not hearing the revisions anymore, of all the people coming at my neck about saying our midfield is one of the worst in the league. It is one of the worst in the league, because athletically and physically, it cannot keep up with these physical teams. And we've played some physical teams recently: West Ham, Everton, Newcastle. And this is what happens when we play against City, when we play against Arsenal. We sat deep. We didn't press. We didn't push from the front. We didn't stretch the game out and open ourselves up. As soon as we try to play progressive, attacking football, as soon as we try to get on the ball, we get destroyed in the middle of the pitch. They were running through us like it was absolutely nothing, again and again and again and again and again. And it's the whole strategy. We made Joelinton look like Neymar, aside from the final third, because this would have been 6-1, 6-0 if Newcastle had our forwards. And that's why I thought we could still win this game and should still win this game. We talked about that in the pre-match, the forward play. Every time Elanga would get the ball, drive down the side of the pitch and try to lump it in, is basically a clearance. It's like their forwards were stinky. Their forwards are stinky. Gordon missed a wide open chance. We conceded 2 fucking goals while we were up a man. 2 goals. We could have signed the entire Newcastle midfield, dumped them in ours, and we would have had a much better game. Much better game. We would have been fine. And it's depressing. In the boxes, we should have been better, but it's just not good. It's just not good. Proud of you, James. But look, I mean, I'm not happy. I'm fucking pissed off. I'm upset. I was stressed. I was absolutely stressed all game watching this, feeling like just so negative, because the performance was just so bad in this game. But it's been coming, and that's the part that worries me, and why I'm not sitting here talking about Carrick. What's the alternative? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get it. But what is the alternative right now? What alternative do we have? What alternative Tubbs? Hold on, Tubby. Well, I'm going to read this out, but correct if I'm wrong. But did I not call Carrick his dog cracked and Bumo's trash, Cunha's trash, and Manu's trash? I'm never wrong, bro. Just early. I'm not sure about that. You made all those takes, and I still don't agree with all of those. Is Bruno closer to goal now, though? Yeah. I mean, look. Fuck, man. I don't even know where to start in talking about the problems with this game because there was a lot. But let's start with this, all right? First and foremost, the fullbacks too. Yeah. So Shatters, you saw your comment there. I agree with that as well. I've got a list. I made a list and some things made the list in my awful handwriting. One of them was the fullback play. The fullback play was dreadful. The fullback play was really, really bad. We still have no idea how to use fullbacks. Maybe that's why Ahmad was playing at wingback, right? And I know as soon as I say that, someone's going to say, oh, Emre. No, fuck off. I'm talking about the reality of the quality of our team. We were terrible all season when Ahmad wasn't out wide, basically at fullback. And there's a reason for that. And it's because our fullbacks stink in going forward. They can't attack. They don't go forward well. Both Mazraoui and Dalot can do some really good things in defense. They can do some really good things dribbling the ball, carrying it in progression. Neither of them can attack worth anything. And so and it's fine. It is what it is, right? I think both have their uses, and I quite like Mazraoui, and I think Dalot also definitely has his uses. But you ask them to start contributing in the final third and attack, and it gives you nothing. So the balance is all off in terms of the width. Whoever's on the left can't go forward. Whoever's on the left can't go forward and create something. I don't understand how we can't, like, we need fullbacks. I keep hearing after wingers, and I get it. We need fullbacks. We need fullbacks. We need fullbacks. We brought on Tyrell Malacia and lost us the game. Why? That was a terrible sub. That was a terrible sub. Aiden Heaven should have come on. Malacia has been out in the cold for a long time. Forget even the quality of the player. Tyrell Malacia has been out for a long time. We already know Tyrell Malacia is not going to be here beyond this end of the season. His contract's expiring. He's not good enough. He's been injured. He hasn't been played for a long time. There's no excuse to bring him on in a critical moment like that when Heaven was on the bench. None. Aiden Heaven needed to come on. I understand Mazraoui coming off. Aiden Heaven should have been on the pitch. There's no excuse for that. Aiden Heaven is a proven player in this team. There's no reason that to not have put him out there. We could have put Ahmad out wide and sub somebody else on. You know, we could have done a lot of different things. Malacia should not have come onto that pitch. Should not have come onto that pitch. Period. That was a huge mistake. Okay. The fullbacks and balancing the fullbacks with our width and attack and build up is terrible. I thought Lenny was good, by the way. First half, second half, but Lenny was good in the first half. Lenny was very good in the first half. Could have been a lot worse without Lenny's defending in that first half. I thought he was quite good. In possession, he still needs work, but I want to give credit to Lenny as a young player as well, that I think defensively, Lenny was very good in that first half, especially. Had a really good chance to win it as well at a certain point. Unfortunately, didn't get it over the line, but it was close. You know what I mean? He was close. He should have scored that, but I thought he was actually pretty decent today. Another huge complaint that I have, big complaint that I have. And I want to show this. This really bothers me. I'm gonna see if I can get this on the screen. This really bothered me when we were in the, but when we were in the 75th minute of the game, we're up a man, we're attacking, and I looked at how many players in the box. None. Just Sheshko. That's it. I don't know, man. That bothers me because I look at it and I'm going, what are we actually trying to do here? What are we doing? What's the goal at this point in time? Like, I'll try to show this screen, okay, just for a minute so you guys can see it. I got to be careful here, make sure I don't show something I shouldn't. But let me just put this up here. Of course, it's gonna start trying to play an ad or something. You bastard. All right, it's not gonna let me do it. I'll show you guys in the thing tomorrow. Anyway, go to around the 75th minute of the game. And you'll see what I mean. Around the 75th minute of the game, we're attacking. We're up a man. And what do? There's one guy in the box, and it's Šeško. And then there's a second guy in the box, and it's Ugarte. What is this? We're up a man trying to win the game, and one guy is in the box. Everybody's standing around, ball to feet, ball to feet, ball to feet. I'm worried about the way that we're trying to play because I'm sitting there screaming, put the ball in the box. Please put the ball in the box. Just put the ball in the box. Yelling, put the ball in the box. And we won't. We just keep playing ball to feet, outside the box, ball to feet, ball to feet, ball to feet. Waiting. Everybody standing around, waiting for the ball to come to them. And I'm going, what are we doing here? We're up a man against Newcastle. It's level. Why aren't we going for it? Why aren't we trying to win this game? And that was really concerning. We have Šeško sitting in there in those central areas, occupying it different times, and we just won't put the ball in the box to him. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. The other thing is that worries me is like when you watch the game, I feel like we're a bit of a nothing team. Now, you can disagree with me. You can make it about whatever the hell you want. There was a big hype over the tactical evolution we saw in the first couple of games. I never bought into that. I don't blame Carrick for this because you don't make a tactical evolution in 2 games. You don't make a tactical evolution in a week. You don't make a tactical evolution in 2 weeks. You don't. All we did was go back to basics defensively. We went back to basics and looked to score in opportune moments. There's no tactical evolution. There hasn't been one. We're sitting in a basic 4-4-2 that everybody knows how to play, pressing on occasion, dropping off, and then just trying to pass the ball through the center of the pitch. And what has every team recently done to us? West Ham, Palace, Everton, and now Newcastle. Clog the middle, and we have nothing. I mean, look, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know what our plan is. And I'm watching the games going, I'm just waiting for something to happen because I actually don't know what our plan is. You know, I'm looking at the stuff in possession. I'm trying to make notes so I can do like a video to break it down. And I've given up. I've given up on what to do in terms of the in possession work because I don't actually know what we're trying to do anymore. Most of the time, it's just trying to progress it through the middle. And then when it doesn't work, hit somebody on a long ball out wide. The one thing we tried to do today that was a pattern is we kept playing long balls to Trippier's man. And we lost 80% of them and we just kept doing them. I know people in my watch along saw that, but like we kept just like our one plan with the ball seemed to be keep trying to go long at Trippier, and it didn't work. He won most of those duels. I'm very confused by that. Very confused by that personally. I don't know what that was. Why do we not know how to play against 10 men? I don't know. Like you say, second loss of the season to 10 men. Very strange. Ugarte, Xerxes were good. Carrick too slow with subs. I agree with that. The team has been terrible for a while. Individual brilliance and mistakes from opposition saves us. Squad depth at defensive midfield and fullbacks is horrible. Agreed. If you told me Carrick would have one loss in 8 in a run that had City and Arsenal, I'd bitten off your hand. Top 5 still on our hands. Everyone calm down. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Of course. Look, the points that we have gained during this 8 games is right 19 points in 8 games, and that's great. The last 4 games, we have 7 points in 4, so we've dropped below the 2 points per game mark that we probably need to be at, and that's against West Ham, Palace, Everton, and Newcastle. That's 13th, 17th, or 16th, 8th, or 9th. It's mostly bottom half sides. That is a worry in terms of the recent run of performances and points. But the total so far is good. And like I said, it's not all about Carrick. Sad to see our players afraid of Newcastle's pace. That's why they didn't risk more. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Am I oversimplifying things by saying we missed our moments and Newcastle took theirs? Errors and a wonder finish took us out. Yes. I don't think you're totally oversimplifying it. But at the same time, why was that the case in a game where we had an extra man for 65 minutes? Why was it a case of who takes their moments? You know what I'm saying? We need to be better than that. Again, it's like what I've been saying recently, and so I agree with this, is that the problem with our play is that we're playing with the margins, right? We're playing in these fine margins where we're saying they're going to get 5 chances, we're going to get 5, but our chance, we're going to win more of our chances and finish more of our chances than they are because we have better forwards. And most of the time that works. More of the time that works right now. That's pretty much our plan. But when it doesn't, that's what it looks like. The margins shouldn't be small against a team like that with 60 minutes of extra man. Again, I'm not talking about the coach. I'm saying in general what we're actually doing. Been getting away with murder for weeks. And Mbumo, Cunha, Kobe, Cass, all terrible again against a team who lost 4 out of 5. Very worried about top 5 now. And that's the concern too. This isn't a good Newcastle team. It is a team that's lost 4 out of their last 5. They lost 3-2 to Everton 3 days ago. You know? And the problem is that, yeah, it's absolutely correct. Look, we're very, very slow in the midfield. It's a bad matchup for us against Newcastle. But here's the problem, guys, that has to just be accepted. Here is the problem. We have too many bad matchups. So, like, we can't say, oh, it's just a bad matchup. Okay, then the players aren't good enough. You can't have too many bad matchups. If you have too many bad matchups, that means the players aren't good enough. Because Everton's midfield ran us ragged. Palace's midfield ran us. Newcastle's midfield ran us. Hell, even Tottenham's midfield ran us until the red card. So my point is on this is like, yes, it's a bad matchup. It was a terrible matchup. Maybe the worst matchup of the league because as I've said before, I think that West Ham's as well. Yeah. That Newcastle have the toughest, most athletic midfield in the Premier League. And I think that's true. When you look at Joelinton, you look at Tonali, the speed, the pace, the power that they can move with is very good. It's exceptional. So in that sense, it exposes us even more. But what it does is it exposes an existing flaw. This midfield's not good enough. It's just not good enough. It just isn't, you know, and I'm not convinced one player is going to fix that. I'm not convinced you could stick Anderson next to Kobe and suddenly everything's fine, because you can't get away with one combative midfielder in your midfield. You can't get away with just one. And as I've said before, my biggest worry is you take Bruno and you take Kobe and you take their positives, and that's great. And there's a lot of positives. But you need at least 2 combative, physical, athletic midfielders in a team at any given time to balance that out. You know what I mean? And we're not going to get away with this next year. We're not going to become a team that can push for a title. You know, if we want to be a title winning team, if we want to play in Champions League regularly and things like that, you can't have bad matchups left and right. And that's, you know, I'm not saying Kobe should be sold or something like that, but the reality is we need more. And I don't think that I don't believe that you can have a midfield of anyone plus Kobe and Bruno, and that's going to win you titles. I think they could both be in your team for sure. And you can rotate and you can have depth and things like that. But one of them's not going to be your main guy. One of them, you're going to need 2, no matter what. I don't care who the third is. It doesn't even matter to me. But whoever's the third, you need 2. Like right now, if you ask me today, I would much rather put 2 hardworking grafters, Tonali and Baleba, or Anderson and Tonali with Bruno than anything else. That's easily what I would do. I'd put João Gomez, Anderson, and Bruno in that midfield. And that would be better. It's not about individual qualities, it's about balance. And it's about having the right traits to not get taken apart so easily by so many teams. We finally got found out. Are we the new Villa? But that's the worry. You can't run from these stats forever. Wins are wonderful, and all we need is wins. And this is my fear, is that, are we going to fumble it to try and get it over the line as we go towards the end of this season? You know what I mean? Because it's a danger. It's a serious danger, you know? It's seriously dangerous. We could easily fall at the hurdle trying to get this over the line with the way that our performances are going. And I don't know what the solution is. I really don't. I don't have the answer to it, because I don't know I don't know what we do, you know, because we can't progress the ball through the middle. But if you want to play it wide, you need better fullbacks. So now what do we do? What do we do for the rest of the season? I don't know. But Villa's going to be tough. They also have a tough midfield. Play Casemiro and Ugarte. I mean, Ugarte today was our best midfielder, not when he came on, which is crazy. Because he actually chased them around. For about Dorgu after the break, yeah, Dorgu would help. Dorgu will help us because physically he'll be very, very up to it. Physically, the levels will be good. I mean, just like looking at these numbers, if you look at this game, like, this is the scary part. They got a red here. Up till still about 66 minutes, they were still beating us in the second half. I mean, look at this game. 2.22 expected goals to 1.28, and they had a red card. Look at the second half. We created 0.65 with 10 men. Against 10 men. We created 0.65 against 10 men. They created 0.97 in that second half. It was awful, and it was coming. It was coming the whole game. The first half was just dreadful. We got beaten both halves. There was a point where they had 36-6 final third passes. But it's the same reasons we've known, and it is frustrating. I'm terrified how the season ends. I fear Manu's lack of athleticism and pass range means we can't have him and Bruno in the same midfield if we want to challenge Elephant and Root. Right. That's exactly what I was just saying. That's my concern. You know, is that how do you have both? I think you could have a very good midfield with Kabi, and I think you can have a very good midfield with Bruno. I don't know that we can together, but that worries me. And like I said, one of the biggest concerns that I had, the feeling I had in this game while watching it is, what are we doing anymore? And I don't like to bring it to identity, but I do feel like we don't have one now. I don't actually know what it is. Is it just sit and hope on the counter again? Have we gone back to that? Is that what we got? And it's like, of course, temporary manager, what else can you do? But that's what it feels like, and that's scary. I'm just fucking scared. I'm scared for the next, that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared for the next 9 games, man. I'm scared that the next games that come here, when now we've just lost our gap. You look at the table now. I'm scared. We're only 3 points ahead of Liverpool. We just lost the advantage we should have gained on them losing to Wolves. We play Aston Villa next. If we lose to Aston Villa, we're out of Europe. You guys understand? It's one week. This changes. I hope people get that. If Liverpool win their next game and we lose it, and Chelsea win, we're back in 6th. Just like that. The gap is not big enough. We needed to build it. We're playing Aston Villa. And then we're going to be 3 points behind Villa. It's scary. Then we're playing Bournemouth, which will be another tough matchup. Why? Because they have a fucking runners in the midfield again. Then we play Leeds. Guess what they have? Runners in the midfield. Every team is a bad matchup. Then we play Chelsea. These games are going to be huge, man. These games are going to be really, really big, in terms of figuring out where this shit ends. You know what I mean? It's going to be big. And I don't have the answers. It's just worrying. It's genuinely worrying right now. Where we go from here. And what happens now? There's a lot of issues here. So yeah, I'm concerned. Other issues that I saw today personally, I thought it took way too long for Ahmad to come onto the pitch. By the time he did, it's hard to see how the game is going to be. You know what I mean? It's hard to know what's going to happen by the time Ahmad makes it on. I thought it took way too long to get Ahmad on the field. I thought it was I didn't think that was good. And then the other thing is this. I mean, it just comes down to this discussion, and this is what Carrick can do to influence things. It's not negativity after one loss, man. It's what's been coming. Again, it's like purely looking at results is not good analysis. It's just not. You can't just look at results. You've got to look at performances. Performances matter. Stats matter. When Villa were up there second, they're chasing the title. You could look at the performances and go, it's not going to last. They got the long dick from Chelsea today, 4-1 with a João Pedro hat trick. You can't ignore performances. that's the negative part of it, is there's a point where it dips, and then it whoop, and it flips. And suddenly you're in big trouble because it's hard to pick it back up after that. Performances are the best indication of future results, not results. You can win a game with a bad game. That doesn't give you a better chance at winning the next one. It is all about result. It's all about performances at the end of it. Yeah, could end next game week back in 6th. Exactly. That's sort of the math I was doing there. But my worry is that it's being scared to change, right? Because why did we run the same midfield against Newcastle? I just want an answer. Why? It's been dropping, it's been dipping. So let's say it's the worst matchup for us. Good. Then why did we pick it? Why didn't we try something else? Why didn't we pick a different team? That's my point. Why are we scared to react? You know what I mean? Why are we scared to do something different? Why are we scared to make a change when a change is necessary? A change was necessary for this game. Being scared to go, being scared to change it. Like, and it sounds silly to say, like, well, what should we have done? Casemiro and Ugarte? Yes. Because it would have worked better. Just that's the reality. It would have worked better. So that's why you should do it. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter if you're sitting there going, well, but this. No, it hasn't been working and it's a terrible matchup. That's the part that scares me. Because we're going to have more games like this. We have to be willing to change in these games. We have to be willing. If we're going game by game, short-term thinking, just try to claw our way into Champions League, then you have to be willing to make game-by-game decisions and analysis and do all of that. You have to. And that's a concern to me, that we don't seem to be willing to make changes that make sense. Kobe Mainoo wouldn't start every week in a serious side, would be coming off the bench and progressing behind Premier League quality midfielders. I mean, I think Kobe Mainoo is a Premier League quality midfielder, but there's a difference between being a Premier League quality midfielder and being in what we're trying to do later and what we're trying to accomplish. But the matchups, I don't know, man. I just think you had to change. Like, this game was inevitable. And being a United player, yeah. Like, this game was inevitable. It was inevitable. It was inevitable. And not trying to do anything to fix it. That's the red flag. That is a red flag to me. It is inevitable. But we have to, I mean, look, at the end of it, it's the same problems. Recruitment. We need more midfielders. Plenty of other teams have found a way to beat Newcastle, even with the worst midfield. I disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. Okay. How do I explain this? Physicality, I understand physicality. Some people don't think physicality is that important. For one, I completely disagree. I think physicality is so underrated. I think if you look at Arsenal, yes, they are technical. Yes, they are technical, but they are also one of the most physical teams in the Premier League. One of the most athletic teams in the Premier League. City are struggling, and their struggles have mostly come down to their most physical and athletic player in Rodri getting an ACL injury. United have the least athletic midfield in the entire Premier League, period. It's not even a debate. It's not even a discussion. They have the least physical, least athletic midfield in the Premier League. Doesn't mean it's the worst footballers. It doesn't mean it doesn't have the most great qualities. It doesn't mean it doesn't have a lot of good things in it. But it is so bad physically and athletically that the other qualities it has get completely overshadowed when they face one that is very strong physically, that is particularly physical and athletic. Okay. That's really the issue there. Welcome, Patricio, to the membership. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. That's the issue. So it's like, there's a baseline. I think you don't have to have the most physical team in the league. I don't think you have to have the most athletic team in the league, although I do think it helps. But what I do think is that if you are below a minimum baseline, you're in trouble. If you are below a minimum level, then you're going to get beat. I'm concerned that energy-wise, we look worse. Athletically, we look even worse. Fitness-wise, we look worse. Intensity-wise, we look worse. But the players that we have cannot compete on that basis. They just can't. This is my biggest issue with Carrick. Try Xerxes, Ugarte, anything. Infuriating watching the same thing not work every week. Subs also too late. Well, look, I mean, to me, if we want to talk about Carrick in terms of the long term, what I've said before is that it's hard to debate with this thing on Carrick because the problems that we have are mostly personnel. Mostly personnel, right? That's it. It's mostly a personnel issue. But you're looking for the default isn't just to be in the job, right? You're looking for reasons to believe, reasons to like you have to point being like, it's not enough just to be like, well, we don't know. That's not a good argument. You need to see reasons that someone should have the job, not reasons that they are in the job. You want to see coaching reasons why you want to hire a coach. You want to see that, right? So from that perspective, when I look at Carrick, I go, all right, subs. He's not doing well on subs. I don't know. The subs have been weird. A lot of times too late. A lot of times sort of random. I've got questions there. I'm not seeing like this great thing on that front. Not recognizing the decline in performances and making a change to it, I think is a serious concern. Serious concern. I think that's for sure. These games have been coming. We need to be trying something. You've got to try something. Trying nothing for me isn't bravery. That's a worry. I don't know if it'll work, but you've got to figure something out to arrest the decline in performances and turn things around. And then you're going, are we still trying to play attacking football or not? I don't know. What impact are we having? I don't know. And that's my worry right now. I'm not seeing much personally to believe that Carrick is the guy next season right now. Hey, James just joined. How many points do you think we get for the next 3 games? For me, it's not looking very good because of the lack of intensity. Right. And I also think that's something you have to judge the coach on because they're there. They're there. They're the ones up there. Next 3 games is Villa, Bournemouth, and Leeds. 4. I think we'll get 4 points. I think we'll get 4 points. Yeah, more decisive. Yeah, and it's this. You have to see that the performances are dropping and do something about it, not see it and ignore it. And right now it feels like it's being ignored. More decisive, right? And just say, look, I'm just going to take a risk. Like maybe it doesn't work out, but I would have rather we tried something different in today's game than walk into it with a team that was pretty much guaranteed to get beat by Newcastle. That's what it felt like to me. Thank you, man like Pierre, for the donation. If you've got a message, you can type it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll say again, like someone's mentioned, we didn't put youth on. We didn't put youth on to go attack, we put on Tyrell Malacia, a defender, when we needed to score a goal to win the game. You know, yes, that would have got a lot of heat for the prior coach. We made 3 defensive substitutions today, I believe. Yes, that would have got a lot of heat from the prior coach. You know, I do think that was as bad a sub as I've seen this season, that Malacia one. And Amarim had some stinkers on the subs too, but that Malacia one might have been the worst sub of the season. It was, I have no idea. I have no idea where that one came from. I don't understand that. That one's kind of crazy. We had 8 in heaven. We had 8 in heaven. You know, heaven was right there. I don't know, but I thought we were just, I don't know. It was just strange. I don't know why. I don't know. I think 8 in heaven should have been on. I can't say much else but that. I just think that was a very, very strange one, personally. Very strange one. You look at some of these numbers in this game. I understand Mesraoui was injured. We had other subs. We had other subs. We had other players to put on. This is a chart. Like, this is part that worries me, right? Newcastle were beating us before the red, and they beat us after the red. You know, they got themselves in. Malacia said should have been Ahmad left back against 10 men. Agreed. Anything but that. Like, again, there was very, 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 this was a very just bad. They got the red and the game didn't change at all. We didn't manage to accomplish anything after the red. They continued to get good opportunities, good chances, you know, good everything. They continued to be essentially the better side to us. You know, we're still not occupying this left side. Again, I don't know why we won't have Luke Shaw go forward. We should have. I don't know, man. You get different models on the XG. Some of them count as higher, as lower. Progression-wise, it's just Bruno and Maguire, right? All that central progression is gone. Casemiro's way down here. Mainu's way down here. When we can't progress the ball centrally, we just can't do anything. And that is a worry. When we can't progress the ball centrally, we can't do anything. So that's a problem. That's what it looks like. Like, that's why we saw the game that we saw, because we cannot progress the ball centrally. Then that's what it looks like when that happens. I talked about this for the Everton game as well. Our buildup has gotten really poor. We're losing the ball in dangerous positions. 3 leading to a shot, 1 leads to the penalty, right? But we're losing the ball in really bad positions regularly in our own side, more than the opposition now. So I just worried, man. Our buildup has gone backwards. Our ball progression has gone backwards. Our chance creation has gone backwards. The performances are all going backwards. Everything's going the wrong direction for the run-in. You'd like to see the performance. Like, I'll tell you this, all right? And this is kind of silly, but I'll tell you this. If we'd lost to City and Arsenal and won 6 since then, it would have been good, right? We'd be having a different discussion. You flip the performances on their head, because you'd be saying the longer that Carrick is here, the longer we've taken out, the numbers are going up, 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 up. It's the opposite. The longer we're in this slide, the performances are getting worse, and the points are getting worse, and the games are getting worse. It is a worry. This was against 10 men. Like, let's not understate it. The Everton one was like apparently the sin of the century, and it was a terrible, terrible game. We were down, we were up a man against Everton in that game. Like, that was an awful, awful game. This was worse. Like, that does bother me. You go look at the Everton game and take a look at this. They had 0.21 expected goals in this game. Yeah, we lost 0-1, but look at how many shots we had compared to them. Look at the performance. It wasn't great. It was definitely not a good game, but compare it to this. We got beat by a 10-man team. In that game, we conceded a goal and we were pretty toothless offensively. We got beat. We didn't even dominate possession in this game. We didn't even dominate shots. We didn't even dominate chances. We didn't even win on expected goals against a team with 10 men. We conceded twice while we had an extra man on the pitch. This is like a very concerning game. It's a very weird game. I got you, Pierre. Not sure if my super chat isn't working, but Carrot couldn't get Boro promoted over 3 seasons. If we can't get an elite manager, why not try someone like McKenna? I like McKenna. I mean, I don't want to blame Carrick for that on Boro because I'm not sure they had the team, but yeah. Cobby is not the answer. I mean, we've discussed that. Oh, there's your thing, Pierre. I'm sorry you had to send it again. It just wasn't showing up yet. But yeah. Look, I don't know, but it's I'm stressed, man. I'm stressed on whether we can get this over the line. My worries right now are, one, are we willing to recognize the weaknesses in this team and adapt to them over the rest of the season? Or do we keep riding our luck and hoping it all works out? Number two, I think that those days off and the lowering the training and such, I'm not a fan. I still think that our intensity has dropped, our fitness has dropped, our running has dropped. I don't know. That's about it. But every team's going to, yeah, it's exactly this, Gray. Everyone's been doing it. Pack the middle, and then hope we can figure it out. You know, and we've got good players that can sort it. We've got good players who can win matches. But not if we can't play bad. Like, look, this happened under Ollie when he came in as interim. And I said, just why you just can't just look at results. The results shot up, but the performance has started to level off early. And then we couldn't win a game to end the season. We have 9 games left. We need to turn around these performances. We have 11 days till the next game. And then we only have 2 games until a long ass break. We have to turn these performances around, right? We have to. We can't, we getting 2 more chances before this huge break against Villa and Bournemouth. There's 5 days in between those games. We cannot continue like this. This has to change. These performances have to improve. These performances have to pick up. They have to. Because it's not working. It's not working. I'm not willing to, I'm not betting on us, in the run-in to just win on the margins and continue to play like this. The performances have got to pick up. People are praising Carrick's training methods. Look, my personal opinion, again, is just that everybody is going to form their opinion. 90% of people are going to form their opinion purely on a results-based analysis. When it's working, I said this when Carrick came in, when we were winning in the beginning. I said, all this praise, people will turn to heavy criticism later on. All the coaching, the players like him will turn to, and you're seeing it already, turn to players don't respect him, players don't want to work hard, blah, blah, blah. All the narratives shift on the basis of results-based analysis. I don't want to participate in that. I don't want to say something's good or bad just because we win a game or lose a game. I want to talk about what I see objectively with my eyes, game by game. What I see on that basis, and what I feel personally is a concern. I've been worried about the training since it happened, even while we were winning. That's not to say everything's negative either. You know what I mean? Because there are aspects that are working. There are smart decisions that were made that have got us picking up these points. And some of that is to be pragmatic. Some of that is to be defensive. Some of that is understandable. But now you've got to continuously evaluate, not just sit on it and hope it keeps working. The margins are very small right now. And I'm not going to change my opinion based on analysis, based on one game, you know, or based on a result, because that doesn't change anything. You have different, when you're talking about the future, I don't know. It's like, you know, if you read financial models, it's like prior, you know, performance doesn't indicate future performance. It doesn't. You've got to know, why is it going to work in the future? Not just that it worked. Why is it going to work in the next game? Why is it going to work in the next one? Why are we going to beat Aston Villa? Like, let me ask you that question, because this is my fear. Tell me, understand, for anybody who's like, it's just one game. All right, fine. Why would we beat Aston Villa? Like, actually give me the reason. What will we do that gives you confidence we'll beat Aston Villa? What are we doing on the pitch that says that's going to beat what they have to offer? They've got a game breaker in Morgan Rogers. They've got those kinds of players that can score goals. They just got thumped by Chelsea because they play in Europe 3 days before. Okay. I don't think that helps us. We just played a team that played 3 days earlier. We played against Palace and they ran us around. Chelsea were able to isolate their wide players in spaces against fullbacks. That's about it. Right. I don't think we can do that. They aren't physical. It depends who's playing. It depends who's playing. You know, we played better than them in the last time we played them, and we still lost because Morgan Rogers finished a couple chances. I think it's a pretty similar game. It's a coin flip. We'll finish our chances or they will. Because that's the type of football we're playing right now. I'm not saying we're going to lose. Don't get me wrong, because Villa haven't been good recently. Villa have been playing like shit, but so have we. But it's a coin flip on who takes their chances. That's going to determine the outcome of that game. You know what I mean? I don't like coin flips. I don't like riding those small margins. I don't want to do it on the, I don't know. That doesn't fill me with confidence over those 9 games. That's what I'm feeling. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I think Villa have been playing like shit recently. Carrick has had 7 games and we've been playing 11v10 in 3 of them, talking about luck. Look, you're right. Would we have beat Spurs without the red card? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Would we have won last week without it? Was it last week? When was it? Everton or Palace? I don't remember who the hell got a red card anymore. LaCroix got a red. Would we have beat them without a red? Nope. I don't think so. We didn't look like winning until that moment. Now, we deserved that one. We earned that one. I think I'm not sure we earned it, but I'm happy that we got it. But, well, I'm not happy we got it. We fucking lost, so it doesn't make it look a difference, does it? You know? But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we beat Spurs without the 10? Because up until the red, we weren't better than them. If you watch that game, I'm not saying we didn't deserve to win. We were definitely better after the red. We definitely deserved the win. I'm not taking praise away from it, but before the red, we weren't better than them. We had issues. You know, we just have issues. And I'm not melting down, but this was a bad game to lose. Guys, losing 10 men, losing to 10 men is a big deal. Like it was a big deal when it happened with Everton. It's a big deal now. It's a really bad sign. It's a really, really bad sign. And I know we're not going to win every game, but again, the reason I'm negative right now and I'm worried is what is going to happen. Are we going to get Champions League? That's the biggest thing we need, because we have to fix this squad. Right now, I think it's 50-50 again. That Villa game is going to be absolutely gigantic. 10-man Newcastle side who lost their last 3 at home and lost 4 out of 5. Like, we can't just say, well, XYZ's been bad. We just lost to one of the worst teams on form in the league while up a man. Conceded twice. It was really, 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 really bad. I want to know, why is it going to change in the future for me to feel better about it? I want to know, why is it going to feel better? Why would it be better in the future? They didn't have Bruno G either. Exactly. You know, why is it going to be better? What's going to change? That's my question for you. That's my question for anybody. What's going to change? That's why I brought up being scared to make changes to the team when it's obvious we need them. That's my biggest worry. We need to try something else. We need to try something else next game. We have to. We just have to. Let's do it's late, but I want to get a couple of anybody who wants to come in with their thoughts. We'll do at least I'll do maximum of 2 because it's late and I don't want to I'll be back tomorrow, so we can do something tomorrow as well. But he'll play the same team, our savior. Ballon Dorgu. Dorgu will help us. Dorgu adds physicality, but here's the issue, right? I think Dorgu will play on the left mid again, and that means that we're going to end up with mostly playing for counters. Under Amram, he said this is the level of players when we lost or had a bad game. What has changed in the character? Nothing. That's my point. This is always a team, same as it was under Amram, same as it is now, that could finish anywhere between 4th and 8th. Now, my judgment of the manager was whether they would, again, under Amram, if we didn't get Champions League, I wanted him replaced in the summer. So I still have, there's still some responsibility of the coach, but nothing. It's not all Carrick. It's not like Carrick's fault. What I'm saying though is that, like, it's not Carrick's fault. The team is what it is. It's not. But he's here in the job. Maybe we could try something different. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't mean don't do anything, to try and fix it. That's really the point there, is I want him to try and do something to try and fix it. That's all. All right, Patrick, let's have you in. Can you hear me?
Yep. Can you hear me, James?
Oh, good. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Awful game. I think it was much worse than with Everton. We were afraid from the minute 1, and what's more surprising, we were afraid after the first half. Instead of going for a goal, for a win, we sat back until I think the 70 minute. We did basically nothing.
Yeah, I agree. It was that was the most concerning part, I think, is when we came out in the second half, we were still the worst team for the next 25 minutes. We were still getting beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were bullied in the midfield. They were basically running around us, yes. Even at the beginning of the second half, we were not able to catch them. It was a horrific performance out of possession. Casemiro, I know he won everything. He's a great person, a great player.
Yes, yeah.
But he still has the nose in front of the goal. But he was terrific. He's playing not 1, not 2, but 3 tempo level below other players. Yes, and we are suffering because of that. And I think except Cunha, who was flying today, and it's a shame that he didn't have anything, and Zirkse, who made a really bright subs. Also Ugarte was quite good. Everyone was terrific. Yeah, of course Bruno, as always, had created some chances, as always. But he was bad today. He made the penalty.
The big mistakes, He had some good creativity, but made some really bad mistakes as well.
Yeah, he also lost to Osula during the second one. Yeah, so.
Yep.
And the last thing, I'm worried. I'm really worried, as you said during today's live. The lose was coming since 2 or 3 games. Our biggest hope is that Aston Villa is worse than us. And maybe Dorgu will change something, because I like Shaw very much, but I think he is not able physically, to go up and then be able to catch back. And that's why he's not pushing up so many as in the past, because he's not able to, to catch them after that. Yes. So yeah, we need changes. And I think in the summer, Anderson and Tonali. must have.
That would be the best, wouldn't it? That would be the two
I
best.
think, to be honest, even if it would be our only 2 signings, I would go for it.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. Our midfield it's like, it's such a gap. It's really hard for me to it's hard to know how much is just down to the fact that we lose in the midfield so badly every game, you know, in terms of getting the ball forward, in terms of the pressure it puts on the defense. I think we need defenders. I think we need other things, but if you fix the midfield with 2 elite players, you have more possession, more control. That means you get more of the ball. That means you get more chances. That means you concede fewer chances. That means your defense has to do less work. I think on that basis, it's like, yeah, if you were to say you only get 2 signings this summer, I'd still pick 2 midfielders in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And like you said, the Malaysia subs, what the hell, man? That was awful. That was really, really awful. Yeah, the man should not be even on the bench. I do not have anything against him. I like Malaysia, but
yeah,
we have young players. We have others. Yeah, if Amorim made this decision, he would be cooked. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I don't want to go back to Amorim, but
yeah, me neither. But
yeah, I think during your speak with Phil would eat him after that.
Yeah,
I'm wondering what he will say.
We might do it tomorrow if we have time. We'll do it tomorrow, and I'll find out. Because
okay, I will be watching for sure.
For sure.
Okay,
all
James,
right,
I'm going to sleep. Yeah, have a nice day.
Yes, have a good
bye.
night. Yep. All right, thanks, Patrick. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Yeah, I think we'll end it there. And look, I understand. I don't disagree with you here. I'm just saying that. Again, I really try not to make everything about the manager, because for me, the majority of the issue is and always has been personnel based. But people got to figure out where they stand, you know, because it cannot be after Arsenal, the team's great. Casemiro Mainoo's the best midfield on earth. Everything's fine. We have the best team possible. Everything's amazing. All of that. And then, you know, and then what is it? You know, what is the issue? And I just hope the management understands what the issue is, you know, and fixes it. But yeah, the personnel is still the biggest factor. But I'm still saying for Carrick, in terms of getting the job next season, we still need to see him do something. You know what I mean? Like, I think we want to see him do something. Not saying that he's not a good coach. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in discussions. I'm not saying he shouldn't be around the discussion. But in order to get the long-term permanent job at Manchester United, this is one of those moments. The performances are going into the shitter. Can he do something about it? It won't be his fault if we can't. You know what I'm saying? It's almost a free hit. It won't be his fault if we can't turn this around in terms of these performances and pick back up on the winning path. But it can be not his, like, he has an opportunity to earn the job by figuring out something, trying something that fixes it. You know what I mean? So I hope I'm describing it right, but it's like, it's not Carrick's fault if we lose the next game. But he can get a lot of credit if we win the next one, if the performances turn around, and if we climb back up. That's the point. To get the job, that's what he has to do, is turn things around and do something unexpected. Because if it's just, well, it's the squad and we can't do anything about it, that's fine. That's fair. But then you have no better argument for the job than anybody else, because it's about value, right? Like in basketball and in other sports, there's the stat VORP, right? Value over replacement player. And the concept of it, you're thinking of, well, are they making an impact negatively or positively versus the average? Well, if we just perform to the level of the team, then they're not presenting any added value. They're just okay. If they can turn things around and improve on the performances despite the team, then that's value added. That's an improvement over what might be expected. So for me, it's not blame Carrick, not at all. I don't in the slightest, and I still think he's a very good coach, and that's not going to change. But to be the coach of United, I think he's just got to do some things to earn the job, and I don't think he has yet. So that's all. For the long term, but that's okay. That's fine. You know, we just need to get, more importantly, we got to get in the Champions League. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end it there. I'll be back tomorrow. Probably I'm going to try to do the tactics review, which is not going to be very positive, unfortunately. Early in the morning, I'll probably try to make it 10 minutes. I might do like 10 pictures that just show the exact problem and leave it at that, because it was really obvious. Do the tactics video in the morning. I've got a few things. I should be back on Trafford Talk with Owen on The View tomorrow at noon. And then I'll be live in the afternoon one way or another. All right. Thank you all for hanging out today. I wish it was a better game to discuss. It's more fun talking about the wins, and discussing the problems when we're winning is easier than talking about the problems when we're losing. This was a bad one. All right. But we'll be back tomorrow. A lot of time between the next game to discuss and see where things go. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the memberships. Thank you for everybody joining. Thank you for Patrick for the great call. Good analysis. I appreciate you all very much. And I will catch you all later. All right. Have a good evening. Get some sleep. Goodbye.